Well, welcome back to episode 3 of 9 Plus Wine. This week, we are actually going to drink a cider to change it up a little bit. Week 1 was a red wine. Week 2 was a white. Week 3 is Lobo Cider, which is a South Australian cider company. I'll grab the bottle here for those watching. I've already opened it to make sure there's nothing too awkward going on. I did a bit of research on this company. I actually met the cider maker a couple of years ago. His name's Warwick. They're actually 5 generations in. 5 generations of growing apples, making juice, making cider. And these people make one of the best ciders I personally have ever drank. We drank it once.
Yeah,
it was
good stuff.
Lobo Royale. I couldn't find that. So this is the Lobo... How would you pronounce that?
The Bodega?
Boadicea. Let's go with that. I don't actually know. But yeah, look, while I pour some wine, why don't you start the show, Nick?
Yeah, cool. So, welcome everyone to episode 3, as Nathan said. Beautiful, muggy Sunday today. We're overlooking a currently full dam or close to capacity. What's the capacity you reckon? Is it 90%?
We're trying to work this out. I reckon we're at probably 80%, which our dam, we estimate, since we dug it out, can hold 150 meg. And
Jesus.
that's 150 million litres.
Yeah.
Side story, I asked 2 different people yesterday how much water they reckon the dam holds, and it's unfair to do it, but the first one was like, 400,000 litres. And the next person was like, maybe 5 million. But people just, I don't know, it's hard to contextualize how much water there actually is. But 150 million litres, and I reckon...
I don't know where the extra 20% is going to go.
Yeah, so if I look over now, you can see the pipe where the water's coming out, and it looks from here maybe, like that much?
Yeah.
Below the pipe. And if you put that over, I think it's a 4 to 5 acre area, that's a lot of water.
So the plan is we're going to buy a brand new 2019 Malibu or 2020 Malibu on Afterpay between myself, Nathan and Luke, and just rip it in here with a jet ski.
That's, yeah, I'd like a jet ski be good in here. I put that in words, didn't I?
You did. Before Nathan starts to pay himself, he will buy a brand new jet ski.
I told them...
cheers, mate.
Actually, yeah, cheers. This is going to be really good. Unfiltered. Fucking good colour.
Oh yeah, that's good shit.
That is good shit. Very different to the cider I make, but we'll go to that in a bit. I might be changing shifts at work. I don't know, and I put in for weekends as a preference. So I said if I got weekends, it might be like an 18-month stint. And I said, if I have to do that, the only way I'll survive is if I buy a jet ski afterwards. So, it's in words.
But in this dam, that would be amazing.
Firstly, I haven't seen Dad this happy in a long time. Like, a long, long time. The news of Anthony and Damien soon to be having babies and breaking of the drought has just put him in a good mood. So, yeah. Anyway, enough about the dam.
So... Dam's amazing. An update. I was travelling overseas this week through New Zealand, just meeting a few of our suppliers, which was really good. And I think that touches on to our first point today, which is the impact of meeting someone face to face has on relationship building.
So you've been emailing these people for how long now?
Since I probably started being their customer in probably mid-November.
4 months ago.
Yeah, in the New Zealand market.
Yeah, cool. So you went over, you met them. Yeah. How important was that?
Well, it was 5 days, and the hard part is if you got 5 days and you have 5 suppliers, there's only so much quality time you can have with these people. So it was important that, okay, there's niceties. Let's talk about the rain for a little bit. Let's talk about the country, and then let's get to, the roots of it all. So from my point of view, it was really important. I'm not really worried about, being nervous during a first interaction.
You normally aren't. Did everyone know your age, or was anyone a bit shocked?
Yeah, so that was kind of the first thing.
I can imagine.
There was a few like, okay, I thought you were in your 30s. So it is kind of a step back when you're 25. But the reality is they don't take you for your age, or if they do, they're not really.
Yeah, we've spoke about this. Anyone that's going to be, like anyone that looks down on that, it's probably not someone you want to be real close to anyway. I think it's amazing that you're 25 and in this. So
it was a good experience. I mean, like looking back on it, you're sitting in these meetings with people that have been in the industry for a long amount of time. So I have a lot of respect for them, and my goal is to listen, not really tell them because I'm still learning. I don't know anything about this industry. Like I need to spend the time to understand their perspectives.
100%.
If I just act like I know what I'm talking about, well, then I am going to look like that arrogant 25-year-old who should go back to uni. So it was a really good experience, and I think I have made a lot of progress with the relationships with those 5 suppliers, which was really good.
I said we would talk about this. I just came from breakfast with some mates, and our friend Hayden asked me, he's like, where's your relationships at with some of your customers? And to be honest, they're probably not where I want them to be. I said this to them, I was like, I won't say who, but most of them I haven't really had the time to check in on everyone, follow up. If it is a follow up, sometimes it's just an email or a message, which I don't think is good enough. I know that I need to meet people and see them in person and build that relationship, and I haven't been able to do it. So that's probably something I need to focus on. But yeah, I'm glad you bring that up. Made me think about it and therefore can act on it. But yeah, relationships super important. I wish I could quit my job, but I can't. I would love to spend more time, even just going to dinners and shit. That shit is right up my alley. That'd be really fun.
Yeah, but the reality is, Nate, you can send an email, you can send a text. It doesn't take that long, and it probably takes less time to just pick up the phone and just give them a call and be like, how you been? Any feedback from the customers? At the end of the day, that's what you need. You need feedback from your customer base to understand what to do with your product. And, it doesn't take long to just pick up and say, hey, how are you?
Yeah, I know. I need to do it more. Like I can see that. But yeah, no, relationship building is something that I see as very valuable in any business. It's probably more important than anything, especially with today's technology. Ordering's kind of taken care of everything. Yeah, me, especially being just me and media. It's something stretched for time, but also still very important.
Yours is still a heavily face-to-face industry, like mine. I think the primary industry sort of thing, it's still heavily face-to-face. I mean, your cider can taste good, that's great. But if you're an absolute knob jockey to talk to, well, they're not going to want to deal with you. And you're not going to get the reputation that you hold won't stand against, those big corporates that you're in reality trying to eat into.
I was talking to Michael today, who works for Coca-Cola, and he has thousands of people in his position for that company in Australia, which is just insane.
How do you compete with that?
You can't. You don't even bother. What I need to do, actually, I think, is probably go to more markets. I think we've talked about this.
That's your clientele.
That's where there's better margin, and I probably operate better in a market situation. Just that's how I grew up, going to markets. But you and I would be good to go to that.
Well, your competitive advantage, I think, is your story and how close you are to what's actually going on. And people at the markets actually give a shit about that.
100%.
Your average Joe at the pub probably won't go to the bartender and be like, hey, can you tell me about the background of Cedar Creek cider?
Yeah. No one does.
Some will, but...
And I've offered that.
Most won't.
Some of the places I've got in, I've said, look, I'd actually love to come and introduce your bar staff to Cedar Creek cider. Because if they can have a direct conversation with their customer and say, this is Cedar Creek cider, blah, 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 Nathan Silm, 4th generation, this is a story. Therefore, the people that are buying that have a connection to the cider and just will enjoy the cider more. I think that's a big deal. If someone can connect to the product, they're going to want to drink it, and they're going to have a better experience drinking it, for sure. And even going back to when the cans exploded, that was something I noticed. People that knew me directly really weren't bothered by it. I might have had probably 20 cases refunded out of fucking nearly 300 that probably should have been refunded. And yeah, it came down to did the person know me or not, and if they didn't, they wanted their money back or to some extent wanted a refund.
Which is fair.
Which is totally fair.
Yeah.
I cop that on the chin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking very true.
But you're in a different, like now, okay, there's personal relationships, okay, which is just you're trying to help each other become the best person that you can be.
Yeah.
Which is that whole who do you want sitting at your table type thing. In a commercial point of view, but okay, how can we benefit both parties? You know, someone's not going to take on your cider unless they can see themselves getting an ROI on that or return on investment. And then the other thing is, okay, it's all well and good to sit at that meeting and be all happy Larry and be like, yes, we can do this, we can change the world together. If none of that gets put into action, that shit isn't forgotten.
100%. And
so I don't know how your conversations went when you initially reached out to your suppliers, but I'm sure that it was, you know, let's put this into action. I'm not saying empty words here.
No, you're right. And it's funny, most of the people still, the customers that I have, a lot of them, I haven't been the cheapest cider to buy by far. Like the people that the George sat me down and said, look, here's what I'm paying for like another company. I'm a lot more expensive. Like it has to be. That's when I'm in this growing stage, it's not cheap to make it. And I want to drop that price for everyone in time, and I will. But like right now, yeah, my cider is relatively expensive for pubs and stuff to buy.
Yeah.
But that relationship, the people that have taken me on, you can tell it's not directly ROI. They can see the value of having the product in a local community.
Yep.
But once you get outside of this area, if they don't know me, that's a lot harder to do. And
that's the key for you breaking out. But in reality, their strategy could be it's a PR stint.
Yeah.
I mean, we're appeasing the mass right now. You know, everyone wants his cider on. Well, let's fucking put his cider on.
Yeah. People asking for it helps.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, there's still a lot of companies that I need to approach and talk to and try and get in with, which the more I think about it, I just need to do it. Like no excuse to not have done it yet. You know, I have fucking coffee every weekend. Could be going to see someone.
Depends what you're doing in your morning. I mean, you do Arvo shifts, don't you? So
yeah, I'm working Arvos. My mornings normally last couple of weeks been pretty busy, but still I can make time. There's no excuse. I need to get out to Mittagong and Barrel again. I haven't really got anyone out there. I think that's a good market to get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of time's been taken up with this. Well, not this podcast, but the new amount of media that we're trying to put out is exciting for me. Yeah. I think one of my biggest focus this year is actually developing my online customer base, trying to cut out the middleman. But yeah, why are we talking so much about cider? Pick another topic, Buzz.
Mate, I'm talking about relationships. That's all about, that is my role. You know, like that's what I need to do. Yeah. Like every day I'm on the phone to our suppliers, and it's important that we have a good working relationship. You know, I don't want to go into too much detail what we talk about, but it's important that it is a give and take. It's not just me demanding stuff. You know, I'm in the business of ensuring that we don't run out of supply. Well, how do I do that? I don't piss off the suppliers. Yeah. It's as simple as that. So I enjoy doing it. I enjoy dealing with people on a daily basis. Some people aren't meant for it.
Yeah.
Some people aren't meant for dealing with customers or suppliers on a daily basis and talking to them, which is fine. They don't work in that industry.
Yeah.
But I guess my point is just how important it is to pick up that phone instead of sending a text message, even from a personal point of view. I mean, if you have school friends, which I can guarantee we all have schoolmates that have gone their separate ways, and you think to yourself, I should make the effort and at least talk to them. Just pick up the fucking phone instead of messaging. And I need to follow my own advice. I struggle with that too time to time. But
I love that we have been calling each other probably once a week now, near the end of the week.
Yeah, well, I do it every Friday when I'm driving home from work.
Just to say, hey, Dick, when are you free to do this podcast?
It's good.
When's coffee? That's the two topics that we consistently make happen. And I need that. I need to have coffee on the weekend with the boys. Like Monday to Friday is just fucking work.
Yep.
And the weekend I need a detox, I guess, which is fun.
I mean, it's hard. You watch enough I don't want to say it because we talk about it every week, but you're watching a Gary Vee and you think, oh, fuck, I'm wasting my time spending a $5 coffee when I could invest it in this and make $5,000 in 3 days. Yeah, okay, I get that. But the reality is that hour or 2 hours that I get to spend with my mates every Saturday is a good reset and a good way to just get your mind out of what's been going on and just, you know, relax with them and catch up and see what's going on. You know, it's really important. I felt very fortunate yesterday sitting with you guys and just thinking, you know what, we have like a really good group that's come organically from different outlets.
That's
some from Macca's, some from CrossFit, some from being in a mutual relationship. You know, like it's really cool how it's all formed.
I was thinking about that before. I actually have a complete new friend group since the dam's been empty. None of my current some of my friends have seen it, but like the 3 people I had breakfast with this morning, none of them have ever seen a dam full. And that to me was like, holy fuck, that's a lot of change.
Looking at it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even realize until I was sitting there thinking, none of you have been on the dam with a jet ski or the fucking barbecue on the floating raft, which we're going to do soon.
Yeah, what is that?
Have you seen the raft?
Oh, that green.
The green raft?
Yeah. Have you dug a hole for that to do putt-putt? I mean, obviously don't dig the hole all the way through, but that'd be cool if you could have a hole and do some putt-putt. Yeah. Or somewhere to tee off from. Oh, that's just tee off. Good.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I need to get better at golf.
100%. Oh, what's going on this week? What is in your life this week?
So I'm moving to Mossman today with my cousin, Rachel. I currently have no furniture to my name, so it is a pretty easy move. Just pick up two backpacks, then I'm good to go. I am like the idea of moving every month. I don't really like I'm looking forward to having a bit of consistency with where I stay, but the nature of the job, like, which I love, I don't have any issues with it, is the fact that I wouldn't be confident in saying I could be in Australia in 6 months' time.
Yeah,
I could be, but I could also not be, which is.
Well, where's your take? This is actually a good conversation to have. What do you see has changed in owning a home in the last 3-4 years?
I think
owning a home versus renting. For people that don't know what that is, it's basically the fact that if you want to build something, it's a good idea to not own your home. Some of the most wealthy people in the world rent, and the home that they live in is rent, and their investments are other houses or stocks or whatever. But
you got it out eventually, mate.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Rent where you want to live.
Rent where you want to live, and I sound like that fucking chick that was like, I don't understand why people are homeless. Just buy a house. Not that easy.
What?
Haven't you seen that?
No.
You haven't seen that?
No, I haven't watched that video of just buy a house.
Really?
Grace is looking at me like you're an alien.
Alright, so we're going to find this, and it's going to be inserted so that I don't look like a dickhead.
Is this another Nathan fact?
That's no, 100%. There's a chick that records herself, and she's like,
if you're homeless, just buy a house.
And it went viral. Like, it's fucking so funny. I'm sure we're all going to watch it right now.
We're not going to watch it right now.
No, not us.
Oh, okay, yeah. Everyone, look it up and be like, this guy's so full of shit.
I don't care that you haven't seen it. No, like, Grace has already put it in. No,
I think the way it's interesting. There's still, the couples that meet when they're 17, 18, get a house by they're 23, have a kid at 25, have a second kid at 27, own a dog.
Don't think that's smart. I just don't.
Well, if they love each other and are happy with it, happy for them. I mean, it's not, and the mass aren't doing that. I don't think it's definitely changed. People are becoming more selfish.
It's too hard to buy a house these days. Just in general.
And people are more privy to the return on investment you could be doing if you go this way. I mean, you think of the Grant Cardones of this world. All they do is push, invest, burn your cash and just put it in places, get away from the banks. But people didn't know that back in the day.
I think it comes back to, are you ready to sacrifice for a decade? That's kind of where it sits. Are you ready when you're 20 to invest for a decade to make the rest of your life better? Like, for some people that might end up being living like very humbly, maybe not even having like any serious relationships and putting all of your money into real estate or stocks or whatever. Because if you can sacrifice that 10-year window, you can build a serious amount of wealth, which is essentially what I'm doing with this business.
But it's hard. Like, that's generational, Nath. Like, you think of your parents, Mark and Linnell, or my parents, you know, when they were growing up, their parents didn't have the wealth that our parents have. Exactly. So they were forced to go out and make a life for themselves, which is probably why the whole get a block of land and build your wealth that way was probably so popular. Yeah. You know, get your own piece of land, because the reality is nowadays we're just living at home. You know, we're expense free in a lot of times, so it should be easier to sacrifice for a decade.
I've even said it and I already feel like a dick because I've just got good circumstance. Like,
sorry.
I know that's not your no, I feel like a dick about what I said. I am very lucky in the fact that I have a good relationship with my parents and I don't value the judgment of others, so I don't mind living at home.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Why wouldn't you live at home?
Why the fuck wouldn't I?
Yeah.
I'm so lucky.
It's stupid to go out and rent when you live at home and it's easy going. Yeah. Like, why would you do that? You're saving yourself $200 a week minimum, you know? And
then 50% of the people listening to this podcast are like, fucking shut up. You don't know, like, my circumstance. Don't tell me I can live at home. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we're lucky. I know we're lucky. Yeah. You know, so I never complain about my parents or my life. I don't
parents
complain.
are mad.
Yeah, but I don't complain about it. I know I'm lucky. Yeah. Like, I'm you know, very fortunate to be in the position I'm in. All I'm getting at is generationally it has changed. For okay, maybe not for everyone, but for a lot of people, you know, they're growing up, their parents have a lot more equity than their parents did. Okay? And the fear is, for me, in 20 years' time, you know, when all these parents just decide to kick the bucket and they all die, you know, it's not all going to happen at once. Think about the supply of houses that will be coming on the market because their kids don't want the house.
It'll be interesting.
That will, like, the supply of housing will be ridiculous because it's an aging population. Okay, I get that. But, you know, if the parents have 5 investment properties and the kids want a quick buck, well, they'll put all of them on the market.
I really want to own a home eventually. I just think that if I can put the hard yards in and invest most of my money, as much money as I possibly can, into anything that's an asset, whether it's a business, stocks, real estate, for as long as I can, I think that the returns on, like, my life are going to be better. That's just my take, is simplicity.
The hardest part is, like, when do you call it? When are you like, yeah, you know what, I am satisfied.
When you want to have a kid, that's when. That's like, call it.
Bullshit. That's absolute shit. You are not going to call it when you get a kid.
No. Sorry. Wrong context. When, like, probably renting, that's when I'd be like, all right, let's get our own place.
Oh, yeah.
You with me? Yeah.
Yes. I can understand the benefits of a house or a home. You know, the personality, the idea that this is your piece of land and you can do what you want with it. You know, you're not going to move anytime soon unless you make that choice. You know, if you're renting, it's that fear of, okay, the landlord lifts the rent, or...
I think that it was probably a really good idea for someone to push owning your own house, like, long ago.
Well, when land was abundant,
yeah,
of course they were going to push it, but it's changed heaps now.
Yeah, it doesn't hold the same value as it did a decade ago.
It's that idea of scarcity, but which is funny. Like, Australia's got that much land, but you look at, you know, European countries and places like Berlin where they've actually had to have a rent freeze.
What's that?
Like, the government has forced them to freeze their rent at a certain level because it's not possible to live in Berlin, like, have a quality of life.
Because it's expensive?
Yeah, because, the supply's not there. So they can charge whatever they want.
I don't know much about real estate, to be honest. I haven't paid a much.
But that's just supply and demand.
Yeah, everything is.
You know, everyone wants to live in Berlin or Copenhagen. Well, happy days for the landlord, just up the rent. See which... Actually, I'm not going to say that comment.
Go on.
No. Thanks, babe. Beautiful. What's your plan for this week?
This week, I'm actually considering going down the coast tonight with Eloise. Going down the coast, just I don't know, have a night.
That's such a Nathan thing to do.
Well, I just missed my brother's birthday, but I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about this. This week, I I think I have a lot to do for the upcoming cider make that's happening. I think I'm going to see Vizzy, and I think at the end of this week, Campbelltown Catholic Club is coming out to do some footage, basically like from food to plate. They want to run a campaign, not for Cedar Creek Cider, for Campbelltown Catholic Club. So they're coming out, we're a supplier for them, so they want to come out, film probably me and my dad, talk about the cider, talk about the farm, make a bit of a film for them to run advertising against. So that'd be interesting. Apart from that, just normal work, 40 hours at work and then another 20 hours here.
Nice flex, bro. Nice flex.
No, it's more than that.
I mean, the main thing from this as well is, and I'm not forcing a wrap up here, but just to touch base with what everyone has been saying, I've gotten a few messages from people about feedback and what they thought of it. We appreciate the good feedback or the bad feedback, or the opportunities. We're not going to cry if you tell us that it was shit content, or if something wasn't done right. We're going to listen and try and adjust. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a podcast about us talking about things going on in our lives. So if you don't like it, well, then that's unfortunate. Yeah. But in terms of like what we can do to make the show a bit more professional or run a bit smoother, we're open to all sorts of feedback
100%.
Or topics that you want us to talk about.
Actually, would love that.
Which is fine. I mean, in terms of well, apparently, as you can probably figure out now, I'm actually a person on this show regularly. It's not just Nathan interviewing a different person.
That was my favourite thing. Someone,
I'm still here.
A couple of people were like, "Oh yeah, can't wait for your next guest," or get someone else on there. Like, no, not really.
It's fine. And look, if you think I'm boring, please say I'm boring.
But I addressed that in the first episode. I said, "This is a podcast where I get to hang out with Nick." That was like the first thing I said.
Well, it's all right.
But anyway, I love you all.
I'm not taking it personally.
What was I going to say? Sorry, you made a good point, and I wanted to back that up. The structure we're trying to do is film on the weekend and get it posted on Friday. So we will try and do that, which means if you watch it, you have 24 hours to basically get any feedback to us so we can address it in the next episode. But yeah, now we're working on it. Love doing this. It's good fun.
The one thing I would say ending this whole thing is just pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Don't send the message. Don't send an email. Just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, how are you?"
People fucking hate phone calls, but like you don't. A lot of people do. Do you? Hate phone calls.
You hate it as well.
I don't. I enjoy some. Others I don't. But it's super important. Like we just talked about this, and it's something that I do not do very well.
I wish we had more time to talk about this right now, but a quick 15-second summary. Nathan, your industry is filled with older guys and an older demographic that like talking. So what do? You pick up the phone instead of messaging them because they want to have a phone call and chat shit. Okay, My industry is the exact same. You just call them instead of texting because they want to talk. Yeah, that's fine. I like doing that. You may not like doing it, but tough shit.
I like doing it. I just fucking don't.
And don't give me the you don't have time shit.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I haven't done enough, and I want to do it better. And you know what? I'll try and call every supplier this week.
Oh, there we go.
I'll let you know how we go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to asking that.
I'll
see the difference if it was good or bad.
Yeah.
And then you'll come back and be like, I had 5 missed calls and that was it. No one answered the phone call.
Put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Grace will observe some, I'm sure. 15 seconds.
Cool. Well, that was episode 3. Any feedback's appreciated.
Love all the feedback. Thank you for watching always. I need to look at the camera more often.
You weren't looking down. You're fine.
Yeah.
Was I speaking in the microphone?
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah.
That was the feedback from someone that was like, you move this around too much and you don't talk into it.
Didn't touch it.
Didn't you?
No.
Good. No. Tried a new setup. Grace's recommendation. But just rambling. Thanks for watching episode 3.
Guys.
Appreciate it. Cheers. Skull.